Hello everyone, so I'm going to be doing a account review today. It's been I think a month and a half or 2 months since I've done my last account review, and I know a lot of people have been asking in the comments to see my account. They want to see the relics, they want to see the characters and all that. So in this video I'm going to go over every character that I have built, how I have them built, and the future plans that I have for the account going forward. So firstly, I'm just going to go into the shop and show you guys that I have not purchased any of the top-up bonuses, or I haven't purchased any Oneric shards at all. I only buy the battle pass and I only buy the daily express pass. So I have not actually purchased any of these top-up bonuses, and I also don't get the gems for being a Hoyo creator because a small channel. So the only thing that I do get is the battle pass and the daily express pass. Okay, so now let's go into the characters, and I'm going to show you all the characters that I have built and why I've built them the way I did and what I want to do with them in the future. So first, in my party, I have my 4 main DPS characters that I use the most. So I'm going to start off with my favorite one and the one that I've invested most in. I did the lightning set cavern a lot. I was farming it, I think, for 2-3 weeks, and I still didn't get very good pieces. So let's just go over my Serval. As you can see, her stats are pretty good, like 61 crit rate, 160 crit damage. Can it be better? Yes. Especially if I got a better body, but I'll show you guys a bit further when I go directly into the relics. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with her right now, so I'm not going to be farming for her any further for the time being. So I have S5 breakfast on her. It would be nice to get a 5-star weapon on her in the future. I was thinking of getting the Tingyun cone all the way back in 1.0, but I'll just wait until we get like a light cone that she can make like full use of for like a different limited 5-star erudition character. So Traces, she's completely maxed out. I think she's the only character that I've maxed out on this account, and I'm very happy with that decision. I love using her, and honestly, you probably have watched, if you guys have watched my MLC clear videos, she's been the character that I've used most throughout every single MLC cycle that I've been through so far. She has been the most useful free-to-play or 4-star character for me thus far. Like, there are like Qingque and Sushang are like better overall, but I've seen the most use from Serval for sure. Okay, so let's go over her relics. I have 4-piece Sizzling Thunder. Her head's pretty good. Gloves, okay. I mean, they didn't really roll in an ideal fashion, but whatever. As you can see, I have a crit damage chest, which is really good, but I could get a crit damage chest with the crit rate substat. I really tried farming for it, but no luck thus far. But this one has a huge amount of break effect and attack percentage, so I'm pretty happy with it, honestly. Next, I have attack percent boots on her. This one also have a lot of break effect and a decent amount of crit rate. I tried farming speed boots with her, but I never got good substats, and attack boots are not bad on Serval, so I just kept them as is. I've had this very early on. I'm pretty happy with this planar orb. And lastly, I could not find a good on-set link rope for any of the sets really, and I think this is one of the better link ropes that I have. It has a nice amount of crit damage and crit rate, and so I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, next we're going to move on to... oh, let me show you Eidolons. I've had E6 Serval since I think 1.1. And I'm really happy with that. I got really lucky on the standard banner, and then I picked up her final Eidolon. I think it was on the... I'm trying to remember which banner it was. It was the one that Danheng was featured on first. Was it? I think it was Silver Wolf. I think it was Silver Wolf banner where I got her E6. So I've had her E6 for a while. And I also like did buy her in the shop the first time she appeared. So that's why I got her super quickly. And I'm happy with that decision as well, to be honest. Okay, next let's move on to Sushang. I'm very happy with my Sushang stats as well. Could they be a little bit better? Yes, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Happy with everything. Good amount of crit rate, good amount of crit damage, decent break effect, especially because I have her Eidolons pretty high. Yeah, so I'm happy with everything here. Light Cone, I'm running Cruising in the Stellar Sea just because I don't have a lot of crit rate on her gear. I do have a lot of crit damage, so this Light Cone is helping me balance out the ratio a bit. So that's why I have that. For traces, it's very close to being maxed out. I almost have enough mats to max it out, but I'm just chilling. I don't really see the need to max it out yet, but she will be the next character that I max out everything for. Probably, I won't be maxing out her basic attack though, but I will just be doing her ultimate and skill. And relics, I'm running 2-piece Streetwise and 2-piece Wild Wheat. The Wild Wheat pieces I have on her are pretty darn good. Like, as you can see, nice amount of crit rate, crit damage on the hat. Not the best, but still really good. These gloves rolled really well. As you can see, a lot of crit damage. This chest is the problem. But once again, it's hard getting like a main stat crit chest with a sub stat crit chest. Like, it just doesn't happen for me. But that would be an area of improvement. Like, I could get even more crit damage. Next, these boots rolled a lot of crit damage, and so that's why I have her on attack percentage as well. And honestly, with her passive, or like where she gets speed for enemies being broken, it's pretty easy if an enemy has physical weakness to get that done on Sushang and get the extra speed. So attack percent boots are not bad on her in my opinion. This orb, as you can see, it rolled a lot in crit damage as well. Like, I got so many good crit damage pieces on her. And then lastly, the link rope, it's pretty decent as well. And so I'm happy with her gear. And Eidolon 6, I just got her Eidolon 6 from the Aurum Alley event, and I'm really happy with that. Next, we're going to go on to Don Hung, who has pretty good stats also. Disclaimer, I really don't like using him, but like, he's like the only win DPS that I have built like up to their max potential. I'm trying to like slowly phase him out and going in favor of Sampo, just because I feel like Sampo is easier to use, and I honestly just enjoy using Sampo more. That's not to say I won't be using Dan Hung anymore, but it's definitely not my first choice. Let's just say that. As you can see, his stats are pretty good, balanced out. Everything's good here. Light Cone, I have a Super Imposition 2, Sleep Like the Dead. Gotten this Light Cone twice. I'm not mad about it. Anything, like any weapon with crit rate or crit damage on it, I always love, just because it helps you balance out those ratios a lot easier. His traces are pretty much done. Like, he has like a few to go, but I'm happy with him right now. Not investing a little more into his traces. His relics, he has a decent relics too, like okay head piece, but at least it has double crit stats. Once again, okay hands. I'm pretty happy with this chest. Like, yes, I wish it would have rolled a bit more into crit damage, but I'm good with where it's at right now. Speed boots on him. Pretty nice orb. And a really nice link rope as well. So I'm happy with that. For him, I have Eidolon 2. I'll probably try to pick up more Eidolons as he comes in the shop. Just because, I don't know why. I just feel like he underperforms a lot of the time. Maybe it's because I have the other two at E6 and he's at E2, and then it does make like a lot of a difference, but I don't know. We'll have to see why. Next is Qingque. I'm currently actively farming to improve her gear. Her crit rate and crit damage are not the best, but we're definitely trying to farm up and get her better right now. Her stats are okay, definitely trying to improve. Light Cone, I have a Super Imposition 4. Today is another peaceful day. Like, this is the only weapon that I've been picking up on the battle pass. And it's pretty darn good weapon, so I'm not mad about it or sad about it or anything. Her traces are pretty high as well. I should pick up these minor floating traces like soon. Yeah, so her helmet, it's okay, nice bit of crit damage, wish it was double crit. Gloves have a lot of crit damage, so I'm pretty good with these. Like, it has a lot of attack percentage as well, so not mad about it. A really good chest piece. Like, the other substats like def and effect res are obviously useless, but double crit, I'm good with it. Speed, these boots are good. I wish they would have rolled much more into crit damage or crit rate. Probably looking into replacing these with something better, hopefully. I'm fine with this orb, but I definitely want to switch over to a Rudolent Arena orb and get the extra crit rate. but I just have not had any luck with that. My Rudolent arena pieces besides the Sushang orb are just atrocious. Yeah, and as you can see, this link rope it's okay, nothing crazy. And I also got her E6 just off the shop this month, and so she's E6 too. So 3 out of my 4 main DPS currently are E6, and I'm really happy with that. Okay, and now we're gonna quickly speed it up. Let's go to Fire MC. Light Cone, we are Wildfire, level 70. I'm just keeping this on MC for now. I'm not leveling it. It could be 80. I have enough materials, but I'm trying to farm for the Herta Light Cone. I'm going to put it on Fire MC and then try to gear them a bit more for damage. Especially when I'm going to be doing a mono fire team next patch with Hook, Asta, Fire MC, and Gwenephen. And I think that'll be really fun. So yeah, that's the main thing. Traces, as you can see. Relics, just Purity Palace. Might be switching off Purity Palace. Might be going to... What's the set's name? I'm trying to remember. It is either Guard of Weathering Snow, or I will be going to the Break Effect set. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure which one I want to do. Okay, next we're going to go Natasha. My Natasha is beefed out. As you can see, S5 post-op conversation. Traces could use a little bit of work. Relics are maxed out. I am actually running a broken keel set on her. Yes, Fleet of the Ageless is better, but honestly, I had the broken keel, had nice HP, I had an energy regen. I had a maxed out HP rope on her, and it just worked out for me. Will I switch to Fleet of the Ageless? I don't think it's that big of a deal that I'm going to like go back and switch it back to Fleet. I'm good with this. She's at E4. Next we have March. Can see. Next we have her light cone, day 1 of my new life. I'm gonna stick with this light cone. I'm really happy with it. Super in position 3. Traces are pretty low. Relics are maxed out. I'm going to try and farm a energy regen rope for her. I might use the, what is that thing called? The one that the stat item that lets you pick the stat, and get her a 5-star link rope. Her Eidolon's at 3. Good with that. Next we have Pela, who I was trying to build for DPS a little bit, but it's just super important to have her effect hit rate at like 67 or 68%, just so the debuff from her ultimate applies all the time and you can be consistent with that. I'm running before the tutorial mission starts. Amazing light cone. Like, it's so good, and I'm so happy I was there when I got it. It's really gonna stink for people that are not able to acquire it now, because the light cone is just so good. Traces, they're pretty high. Relics, so her relics are a bit hybrid between like damage and like effect hit rate. As you can see, effect hit rate is at 58%, so I need around like 9% more or like 8% more to get the amount to apply her debuff consistently. And Eidolon 6, I just got her Eidolon 6 off of the Fushuan banner. In fact, I think I'm at Eidolon 9 or 10, so that's been unfortunate, but that's what it is. Next, we have Tingyun. I'm happy with Tingyun's stats as well. A lot of these level 75 characters, I have enough EXP books to get them to level 80. It's just that I'm finishing up a couple of characters, and once those are done, I'm going to be using those EXP books to get all these characters to 80. Okay, and Light Cone, I have Dance Dance Dance. For my Harmony characters, I have a Super Imposition 4 Dance Dance Dance, a Super Imposition 2, Planetary Rendezvous, and then a Super Imposition 2 Memories of the Past. It'll be Super Imposition 3 after this video when I remember to superimpose it. And really, I just switch based on the scenario. Sometimes, like, I move Dance 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 to Yukong, and I move Planetary Rendezvous onto Tingyun if I'm with Serval. So none of their light cones are like on them permanently. You just switch it around like as they're needed. Traces are pretty low. Could work on them a bit more, but honestly, it's really just skill and ultimate you have to do for her, and like the ascension traces. The small floating traces, they're not really necessary for her. Slowly maxing out her gear. She's running a broken keel set too, and I believe she's at 32.8 100% effect res, so the effect is online. And Eidolons, I have her at Eidolon 2, and I'm waiting to get much more Eidolons for her, like I know a lot of other people are as well. Next we have Hook, who I'm kind of building up this patch. Her light cone, I actually got the brighter than the sunlight cone while I was trying to roll for the 4-star light cones on the Dan Heng weapon banner. Honestly, I wasn't mad about it. It's a pretty strong light cone, and my Hook has a lot of crit damage, but not a lot of crit rate. So this light cone fixes that. Although this is not her final gear. She's just carrying random gear right now. And I'll show you that in a minute. Her traces are pretty low. Like, actually, her traces are pretty fine. I could just need to pick up the minor floating traces for her. Relics, as you can see, it's just a shit show. These are not her proper relics. Like, this is just stuff that she's just carrying right now. But honestly, they're not that bad. Yeah, so I'm going to be working on that. Next, we have her Eidolons. I have her at Eidolon 3. Eidolon 6 is something I really want for her because I really want to play her and I want to move her into one of my main DPS category. But right now, she just does not perform. Like, same problem with Dan Heng, but even worse because I haven't built her up properly. Next, we have Luka, who I absolutely love using. On Light Cone, I have Good Night and Sleep Well, Super Imposition 2. Really strong Light Cone. Nihility has amazing Light Cone. Traces are pretty done. Like, I'm probably going to get the effect hit rate one eventually, but for now I'm good. And relics are decently leveled up. He's almost at max relics. And Eidolon, I'm only at Eidolon level 1. So hopefully I'll be getting much more of his Eidolons. Although I think I remember reading and like looking at his Eidolons, it's really Eidolon 1 and Eidolon 6 that are the big ones for him. So I'm not like super worried about getting Eidolon 6 for now because I know it's probably a ways away still. So yeah. Next we have Sampo. I built Sampo and Luka at the same time and I like using them. I actually really think Sampo's pretty fun to use. I love his animations. I love his model. I think he's way cooler than 4-star Dan Heng. I'm sorry. On him, I'm using Eyes of the Prey currently, his signature light cone. Although I do switch between his and Luka's light cone depending on what the enemy's weak to and who I want to do more damage in that fight. Traces, pretty done up as you can see. Relics, so I never use Dan Heng and Sampo on the same team just because they both use the same boots. These speed boots right here. Yes, I know they have crit damage, but it's hard to get speed boots. So yeah, other than that, his relics are pretty leveled up and his Eidolon is also at Eidolon level 1. And now I just recently finished, or not finished building, started like I'm getting close to finishing my Yukong build. I just built her up 2-3 days ago. Light Cone, as you can see, Memories of the Past, but once again, for the Harmony characters, I cycle the Light Cones depending on the fights. Traces, currently buffing them up. And so there's a bit of work to be done. Relics, a bit of work to be done. I need to get speed and attack boots for her depending on which DPS carry I'm running her with, just because I have to speed tune her. But it's not too big of a deal because I do have her Eidolon 6. I think I picked her up from the standard banner 2 or 3 times. So I got her Eidolon 6 really early. And in fact, I think I have her like technically I've gotten her twice after Eidolon 6. So she's like Eidolon 8 or 9. But yeah, I had her Eidolon 6, so I was like, yeah, let me build her. Because her damage buffs are insane. It's just managing, like micromanaging her and making sure you have her damaging buffs up for your carries. But once you get E6, it's not that big of a deal. Next, we have Asta running, as you know, the light cones. Usually I run her with Memories of the Past, but if I'm going to be running her with Hook, she's going to have Planetary Rendezvous for sure. Traces are pretty done up. Like, a lot of my Harmony characters are missing like floating minor traces, but eventually I'll get to them and finish them up. Relics, I have her on the Break Effect set with the Broken Keel. I've gotten a lot of energy regen broken keel ropes. Let me show you guys. I've been super lucky with them. Just like, I've been super unlucky with Rudolin Arena, but I've been super lucky with broken keel. So like, I'm not mad about it. As you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I didn't actually use the item selector for any of these. I got them all off the, what is it? The double planar events. And I'm happy with it. Okay, and then Eidolon, I have Eidolon 2. I was really trying to get her Eidolon 4 off of the Dan Heng Imbibitor Lune banner, but I just didn't get her. I kept getting Yukong. So I was like, yeah, I'm done rolling on this banner. No more Yukongs for me. Next we have Herta. Once again, she's holding like some placeholder items. Even her light cone is placeholder. Traces are pretty done up, so I use her frequently. I just stick on another carrier's gear on her and get her into the Memory of Chaos and use her there. And sometimes I like using her for Simulated Universe. Yeah, but I just don't have a dedicated gear set for her right now. Do I have any super crazy items? Yes, her chest piece is pretty crazy. 26% crit rate and 23.9% crit damage on a single piece. It's a really good piece, and I just got it recently, and she's just holding it for now. Eventually, like for all the characters like Hook and Sampo and like Herta, I want to get them all their own sets, but right now it's just not like efficient for me. It's more efficient if I get the support characters sets built up and just use the DPS character sets interchangeably. Eidolon 6, which is easy because you get a lot of her Eidolons for free. Next, I just got Lynx, so nothing here currently. Going to be leveling her up and using her. And lastly, Arlan. We have Arlan here. He's just carrying some random stuff right now. So the plan for right now is to finish building up Yukong, and then I want to have Lynx done by the next Memory of Chaos. So that would be 10.3.3 Memory of Chaos. I want to have her functional. I'm currently focusing on Yukong, so I technically could farm for Lynx also, but I don't feel the rush just because I can already clear MLC 10. So I'm going to build her eventually, and then once I get her to max, once I get her done, I'm going to wait on Arlan. I'm going to get all these characters to level 80 and max out the traces for Sushang and then Qingque. And then I'm going to get all these characters to level 80, get all the relics max level 15, and then I'm going to move on to building Arlan and Gwenevin after, just because I really want to be somewhat done with these characters. I don't want them to be lingering with level 13 relics, level 14 relics, low trace levels and stuff like that. I do have quite a bit of resources still, so I'm going to use those and move these characters into a done category, and then I can focus on getting really good gear for someone like Qingque, because ideally I would want to have in an ideal world 70% crit rate, 180% crit damage, and I'll be able to farm that stuff more freely once I get done with all these tertiary support and sustain characters. Thank you guys for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye now.